Hello friends, welcome here to the March bundle tutorial. I'm honored that you are here. Please take the time to look at all of the other amazing Stampin' Up! Demonstrators who are here to present their creations to you. And while you're here, if you would do me a huge favor and hit that, I guess it's right down here, hit that subscribe button for me. And I would be honored if you would do that. I'm trying to get my numbers up. And I usually go live every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you don't want to miss when I go live, hit that little bell and when you hit notifications, hit the little bell for all, and you'll be notified when I go live. I would love for you to come and hang out with me in my studio, but let's get to the March bundle tutorial. So here is the beautiful card that we are featuring today, and I am using the Awash design paper as well as the Delicate Desert. Okay, so here is the belly band, and here is how this card opens up. Okay, so in your description, you'll have all of the measurements in there. Let me get to putting this together for you. Yeah, I think it'll be okay there. I thought maybe it would be in the way. So you're going to grab your cardstock. And you are also going to need either your scoreboard or your Stampin' Trimmer because we need to get this scored. So we are scoring at, this measures 11 by 4 1/4. Sorry, I'm looking for my mark here. We're scoring at 3 inches. I don't memorize my tutorials. I need to use my cheat sheet. 3, 5 1/2. Let's get to that 5 1/2 mark. 8 and 9 1/2. Okay. I feel like I'm, not that you really need to see my face, but 8 and 9 1/2. And now we are going to burnish this. That is the only scoring that we're doing. So we're going to burnish Mountain and Valley. Okay, so I'm going to lift that flap up and burnish this. We're going to burnish here. And finally, right here, our last one. So we've got mountains and valleys happening. And there is the beginning of your fun fold, okay? Your beautiful fold. Now I've got, I put all of my design papers in one little clip so that I wouldn't get confused. These two are the same size and they measure 4 by 1 1/4. Okay, so I am just going to create this the same way that I created my prototype. You're going to grab your adhesive, whatever your adhesive, I can't say that word today, adhesive of choice is. There's lots in here, but for some reason, it wasn't coming out. Okay, so here we go. Let's start putting this together. Now you can use, obviously, any card DSP that you choose. And all you're going to do is take a look at the back of your design paper and see what colors are in there. And that will give you the hint as to what color you want your cardstock to be for your card base. And now we're going to put that on the second flap. In the tutorial, I actually have a picture of what this is going to look like. Okay, now we're going to grab this from Awash, get that down on the next section. You can choose to stamp your basic white now or later, and I'll do it later. Let's just get this all together. It does go together fairly quickly. Now, because this panel here is directional, you want to keep that in mind when you are stamping and putting your entire card together. If your design paper is not directional at all, then, pardon me, then you're not going to worry about that. Get our white down. And again, I'll stamp that later. I like to use my adhesive sheet. For those that do come to my videos on a regular basis, you will notice that I always have my adhesive sheet. All of these measurements are on your tutorial. And last, but certainly not least, so I'm going about 1/8 of an inch from my burnished score mark. And now I've got this little strip right here. We're just going to pop that in, and I'm actually going to go, well, you can choose if you want to go right up against your basic white or have a smidge of your cardstock showing through. Sorry about that clink. My ring hit my lamp. Okay, bring that in a little bit. Here we go. And I am just going to butt that right up against my basic white. So this is actually complete. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our stamping now. And like I said, you can either stamp before this goes down or after. There's no right or wrong. I'm just going to fold this down so that I can get all of this in here, like so. And I'm going to use the True Beauty. And this card can, this could be a birthday card, this can be a sympathy card, whatever it is that you want. And I am getting low on sympathy cards, unfortunately. So I am going to do Here For You Always. And I'm going to center that right there. And then I am going to grab this little flower here. Okay. And we're going to put that down right here. I'm going to pick it up and I'm just going to take a look at the placement of it. And I can tell by the grid that I'm just a smidge crooked. Not too bad. Okay, let's get that inked up. There we go. Cajun Craze. And it is getting a little funky looking in here. So I am just going to stamp by using the edges. When your reds and your purples start getting kind of funky looking, you can just take them under the sink and wash them right out and then re-ink them again. I don't know why they're doing that, but they are. I think that is good. Get your pressure tool. I might have smudged my flower when that came down. I hope not. No, I'm good. Okay, so there, that is already stamped. Let's just set that aside. Clean those before I stick my finger in it. Now we're going to grab our, this is actually our card base, and it measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I've got a piece of Whisper White or basic white that I'm going to put on top here. Every now and then, that Whisper White pops out. So both my basic white and my DSP are the same size, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And that just measures beautifully inside my card. We're going to flip that over and we're going to adhere the DSP. And we're going to do some stamping. We're going to use that same stamp set. I don't know what it's like in your neighborhood, but it is stinking cold here in Winnipeg. Oh my goodness. It's like it's minus stupid out, is what I like to say. There we go. Let's get that stamped. I don't like to have anything close to my Stamparatus edges, so I always have kind of this X marks the spot, and I always know that that's where I want to go, but for ease of classes, I like to mark that. I grabbed this for, let me show you, for my original card. I'm going to grab the other one. I just want to see how that one looks. If I can get it out. There we go. And I like to keep my rubber in my stamp case. The reason being, it's kind of like a puzzle. So if there's ever an empty spot and I've got a stamp just kind of hanging around, not that I do that, I know where it goes. And it does not matter what side you ink up, but when you do put it down, that's when it's going to matter, because you don't want that, like if you want it at the bottom, you don't want to accidentally adhere that so that it's on the top. But it's a flower, so it really wouldn't matter. Get that nicely inked. I think that's good. I feel like there we go. Again, not that you want to see me, but when there's just half of me showing, that's kind of bizarre. I don't know if it's my ink or my stamp, or maybe that's just the way it's supposed to look, kind of really rusticy looking. There we go. So now our card base is done. And we're going to put our card together, and then we're going to move on to the belly band. So now our stamping is totally complete. Okay, so we've got our fun fold here. This is directional. I know this is the bottom, so I want to make sure that when I adhere this, I'm putting it the way that I want. So if I want my flower at the bottom, I'm just going to flip it this way. If I wanted my flower at the top, you can flip it that way. And does it really matter? It doesn't. You know what? That one's at the bottom. I'm going to do this one on the top. So let's flip that over. My flower is right here. Let's see if I'm going to like that. Yes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put adhesive on this side. Now, when I originally saw this card, the way the presenter had it, entered this on here. Now, there's no right or wrong. It's your own card. It's your personal preference. You can do it this way. For me, I have issue with that. And that's only because when the recipient receives the card and they go to display it, because this is in the center from your original card base, it's going to sit crooked on the table. I can't handle that. So I've got my fun fold going this way, which is the same size as my card base. Okay. And I want my flower at the top, but it really wouldn't matter. So anyway, that's just kind of showing a little bit of my OCD-ness That's just a pet peeve that I have. When I create a card, I need to know that it's going to sit nicely. So now I'm just going to eyeball left and right for center. But again, it really, really doesn't matter. You can pick it up and you can stand it so that you know you are flush. So I've got a little more here than here, but it really does not matter to me. What matters to me is that it's going to sit nicely on a table and not be tilted. Okay, on to the fun fold. So with the fun fold, and I put all of my fun fold pieces together, I'm going to fussy cut with you for just a bit. So we've got an 11 by, what is this? 11 by 1 inch. Now when I do my belly bands, what I like to do is, I know I want this centered, so I'm just kind of eyeballing center on either side. I'm going to bring this up and fold it, and bring this up and fold it as well. I don't like to use my scoreboard. I find that when I do, I make my belly bands too tight and they don't slip nicely through the card, okay? And so I can sort of get a feel for it here. And I'm going to give myself just a smidge more room on this side. Give that a burnish. And give that a burnish. Now, because I'm 11 inches, it doesn't meet. Not a problem. This is what I called on my tutorial the belly band accent add-on. That's going to go right here, which rectifies that whole thing. So I know I just want a smidge of glue rather than putting it on here. If I put it on my belly band, I know exactly where I need to be. So there is one side and there is another side, looking like a hot mess. And I am just going to eyeball center, press that down, and I have created, once it sticks, a belly band. Okay? Now let's get our accents on there. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Well, I can do it this way. What will happen? What will happen? That's kind of cool. So you can put your design paper down and then this, but you know what? I'm going to do this instead. So my oops is kind of like, I kind of like that. So there really are no mistakes in card making, just an opportunity for a different look. So we're eyeballing center, and I just have a smidge of a border. And this is also giving my belly band a little more strength with all of this on there. And now this one is going to go down on top of that. And then we're going to finish fussy cutting the Awash in Beauty. So I've done most of it. I just wanted to show you how I fussy cut. No different than anyone else, that's for sure. Let's get our scissors. And what I do is I like to use the crook, if that's what it's called, like right in, not my tips. I like to get right in there. And I'm going to go down, and now I know I need to turn. I am just going to turn my design paper. So what I'm cutting is always on the left-hand side, and there's that turn. Go down, turn. What I'm cutting is always on the left-hand side so that I can see where I'm going. So it's my paper that does a lot of the turning, not my scissors. I hope I'm in camera here. See how it's my paper that does all of the turning, and then just snip off excess when it starts getting in the way. Go down, spin around, and you can always see where your design paper is, and voila. Okay, now this little strip of design paper is directional, as you can see. So if it matters to you which way you want the top or the bottom to be, I think I like this flowing down. So I'm going to put that down like so, and I'm going to use dimensionals. So if I put this down and use that little frame kind of as my guide, I know where I want to be. Let's get some dimensionals down on that flower. And let's put one right in here. This is going to be moved and used, and so you want it to have some good strength. I want my flowers flowing down like so. Hopefully I have not created it too tight. I have been known to do that. If you bend your card just a smidge, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Now let's get some brushed metallic adhesive dots on there. And we're going to stay kind of in that copper look. And that's just going to cause this to pop. And then our last one right there. So there is your Awash in Beauty Delicate Desert Fun Fold March tutorial card. Be sure to have a look at what everyone else has created. And again, welcome here. I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. And again, please subscribe to my channel. I would be honored if you do that. Thank you so much for coming by, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.